Hey, welcome back to ZK Master Tech. Today we're going to be continuing our work on the 6125R. If this is your first time joining us on this project, this tractor has an IVT transmission in it and it was having low lube pressure codes. It would actually throw a stop code on the display that the lube pressure was low. We took it out and drive it, confirmed that the stop code would come on for the lube pressure. We brought it in, did a bunch of testing, did a element leak check on everything in the transmission and the MFWD, and we found that we had a bad leak in the MFWD. So we dropped the MFWD box down, which is what you see here, and we found a blown sealing ring on the shaft. Okay, hold on. Check this out, Joseph. See that sealing ring?
Yep. Coming off.
That sealing ring's busted. So that is where our leak was going. This is where the clutch piston actually rides onto this shaft right here. And this piston doesn't fit over the shaft too well anymore, and it's got some wear. So we're gonna put a new piston on, new sealing ring, and we're gonna put a new bushing in this clutch piston here. And then we will rebuild this clutch pack right here and then put everything all back together. And then we'll put the complete MFWD housing back in this tractor, and then we will see what it does to our lube pressure and system pressure. Now our system pressure was a little low, so hopefully this will bring it up to spec. Not sure what it's going to do just yet, but if it doesn't, I'm going to go into probably replacing the transmission pump on the transmission, and we would have to tilt the cab in order to get to that component on the transmission. So hopefully we don't have to do that, but it's a possibility that we might. We got to get that system pressure up. So right now we're just fixing the lube pressure leak here. So we're going to continue reconditioning this MFWD. So let's get into it. I'd like to thank Brunt for sponsoring today's video. Brunt sent me a pair of their next-gen Marlin boots with the Brunt toe, which are perfect for me. I have to have extra toe protection on my boots. It's a beautiful composite toe boot that is super comfortable. They're designed to be comfortable out of the box, and I can confirm that. In just a few hours of wearing them, they felt like they were already broke in, and I was impressed. No more being in pain for days or weeks trying to break in new boots. These boots have an improved cushion, support, and have Brunt's signature cushion footbed, which I really appreciate because I struggle with plantar fasciitis with my feet. I have to wear the best boots I can find, and these are really helping me out. They are constructed to be breathable, and I noticed that my feet weren't near as sweaty at the end of the day when I was taking my socks off. I'm impressed with the durability, and I think these boots can hold up in any environment. Double and triple stitching, improved waterproof construction, and barnyard resistant Texas steer leather. The outsoles are slip, oil, and heat resistant up to 572 degrees, and they are EH rated. These boots are honestly priced and affordable, especially when you use my discount code ZK10 to get $10 off your first purchase, free shipping, and a 30-day risk-free trial. You can wear these boots to work, and if you don't like them, you can send them back for a full refund, and shipping is covered both ways. There is no risk to give them a shot. Now I know I'm not disappointed, so use my discount code ZK10 to get $10 off your purchase today with a 30-day risk-free trial at the link below. Thank you again for Brunt for the boots, and thank you to my viewers for supporting my sponsors, which helps keep this channel going. Now let's get back to the action. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to install this bushing into our new clutch piston here for the MFWD. Oh, in case anybody's wondering what MFWD stands for, because supposedly I don't ever explain acronyms, it's mechanical front wheel drive. So we're going to install this bushing here. I got a special bushing driver, and we're going to gently tap this into place here. I need to put this on more solid surface. Just tap it in. So you hear that solid sound? That means we are in place. Just like that. I like it. Looks good. Now, let's see how this fits over our shaft here. Oh, that's way better. Yep. I like it. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. Now that we got our piston ready to go, all we need to do is install the green O-ring that goes around it. I was looking at these clutch discs, and I tell you what, they are in really good shape. You would think that this would have been slipping and getting burnt up, but I took a micrometer and I measured the clutch discs, and they measure about 85 thousandths. Measure a brand new one right out of the package, and it's actually 2 thousandths less. So the original ones are actually thicker. So I don't see any reason why we can't reuse these clutch discs, our friction discs, and our seal discs. I also measured them and they measure good as well. So there's no warping, there's no heat spots, the friction material is still all there. So I don't see any reason why we need to put all new clutch discs in there, save the customer a little money. So now we're going to put the clutch friction discs and seal discs into this clutch housing here, and we already have the thrust washers down at the bottom. So I'm just going to take a little high guard and kind of pre-lube this here. These discs are still pretty oily, so we're going to start with a friction disc, and I'm just going to put, you know, a layer of oil in between each one, and then we'll put in a steel disc, and we're going to alternate those until we got them all in place. All right. So once all those discs are in there, I like to line up the splines for my steel discs, because we're going to have to get this shaft spline back in there. And guess what? It's going to be under tension with those bevel springs. So you need to be able to get this guy splined in there like that. So let's see if we can't put this guy in the hole. Try to get them all lined up. I think we're all the way through here. Just like that. We'll take a little, I like to use sleeve soap, John Deere cylinder liner lubricating soap. It's pretty good stuff. We're going to lube up this O-ring with some sleeve soap. Sleeve soap is your friend, and it doesn't hurt anything when you mix it with the oil. It's perfectly fine to use. Nice tight fit. I like it. So now we can put our ring back in, our bevel springs, and if you notice, I'm putting them in with the inner bevel pointing down. because this edge right here has to push down on the clutch piston right here. Okay, you're not pushing on the outer, which if you had it like this, you would be forcing the outer ring of the disc on here, and it doesn't work like that. So you got to have it like this. Now we got to put it back in the press so we can get the snap ring of doom back in. BEAU TIFO. Now is when you hope and pray that your output shaft will go back in. Once you got all that tension on those discs, there's nothing you can do about it now. Oh no. Seriously, I just had it aligned. Maybe just a little tappy. Oh. Oh, I think it went. Yeah. It was a little tight. Hopefully it gets easier coming back out. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Sweet. All right. Stay. Now we tilt the housing on its side like this. We put the bearing cup in. Put a new bearing in there. 2 thrust washers. Just like that. Then we're going to set the clutch housing inside of here. Try to get those washers lined up. Now we're going to replace the sealing ring that was actually blown on the shaft, causing all of our problems. Gently put that guy in here. Boy, I don't like that. Wish that was tighter. Man, this thing seems fragile. Fragile, fragile. Put this on. That's better. I want them to stay overlapped like that. And we'll put our new sealing ring here on. Boop. Just like that. Now we just got to hold our tongue right and get this shaft to go all the way through. All right, now that we got the shaft all assembled, let's put some oil on our sealing rings and our splines here. We're gonna gently insert our shaft. Now it's gonna be tight on them clutch discs in there. It was before. Ooh, Oh my goodness. It went. Yeah, that's there. Sweet. So I coated that bearing with some oil. Now I'm going to install the cup. Come on. You know you want to go. Tight. Shouldn't be that tight. Needs just a tippy tappy. There we go. Now I'm going to put the original shim back in. And then there's an O-ring. And I swapped out the seal already, and it's already pre-lubed with grease. I just punched it out and drove a new one in. $15 foot-pounds. Okay. All right, so I set up a dial indicator here to configure how much axial play preload that we had. So we're supposed to have 0.0012 preload or 0.0008 play. So this dial doesn't move at all. So, but it spins nicely. So we reused the original bearings and shims. So I mean, it's right back to factory. It feels perfect to me. So I'm gonna call that good. And now we'll put the double gear in here. All right, so now we're gonna install this double gear. I got the bearing with the shims on it. I'm gonna stick that guy in there like that. Let me put the little spacer in there. And we're gonna put another bearing in like that. And we're gonna stick this in the hole like so. And we're gonna take the pin and get the pin drove through. All the way. A little tappy like that. We're going to take our bolt. $35 foot-pounds. So now that I got that in, I'm checking the play on this. And if I go lightly, it's 1,000th. If I press real hard, I can get it up to like 3. But it's definitely 1 to 3. I mean, you got to push real hard. But I might just be cocking the gear a little bit. But the spec, like I said, is this is the same spec here as it is here. So it's 0.00012 preload or 0.0008. So almost 1,000th. And I would say that I'm 2,000th. 2,000. So I didn't change the bearings or the shims. I put the factory ones in, but To me, it just too much movement there for my liking. So I've got some shims here, and I'll try to get this right. All right, so I took out a 3,000th shim. I measured it with my micrometer, and now we are just right on the money. Just almost a 1. Should be 0.008, pretty close to it. It does feel a lot better too, so I'm gonna call that good enough. It does feel pretty good. Backlash feels good. Gear case rolls over really good. I like it. Now I can put this speed sensor in. Now that that's all together, we can put some Loctite 574 on the bottom of the transmission, and then put this thing back on the floor jack and up onto the transmission. Bring her up. You just watch this little harness thing.
And we're getting into a little bit on the side.
As long as it'll pass it. Alright, push the jack towards me. Push the jack this way. Yep. Alright. Now I gotta go over this way, just a touch. Uppies. A little more uppies. Whoa, we're hitting something. I don't know what yet. Alright. Uppy. Whoa. It's really cocked on.
So cocked.
Back. Still pretty cockfied. Is that all I got?
That's all you got.
Seriously?
That's all you got. It's a lot better than it was.
Alright. Up. Well.
Oh.
Well, we're way off. Back. Oh, there we go. Oh,
I get those in.
oh. It was there. There. Hold still. Oh, maybe. Is that more betters?
It moved a lot.
Did it go in?
Yeah, I got this. Alright.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, down and down.
Downer. Oh, yeah.
Install.
Thanks, Patty.
Them properly.
Appreciate it.
I'll drag this jack up.
Oh, you're awesome. I don't care what Joseph says about you. You're the man.
Wow.
The MFWD is installed. I got the oil pipe in right there. Got the solenoid, engaged solenoid in, the speed sensor hooked up, all the brackets and everything. I'm going to leave the dry shaft out of it because we're going to do some more pressure testing up in here. So we're going to get it filled full of oil right now. Ben's filling it full of oil. We'll get it running, get the oil level right, and then we'll start testing pressures. Okay, we got the oil topped off. It's where it needs to be. Now I got the digital gauge on the lube pressure port. Contact. that's already better. We're gonna go to 1,000 ripms. And we're gonna engage. Well, MFWD is disengaged right now. Engage. Disengage. Oh yeah. So, okay, so when we're engaged, we're taking the pressure off the clutch. We're mechanically engaging it with those bevel springs. So right now the MFWD is on, so there's no pressure on the clutch. So when I turn it off, we should see a slight dip in lube pressure as it fills the clutch, but then it should come back to where it was. So we're at 62. Before we were at 37. And it would drop to 3 and just stay there. No bueno. So now we're going to turn it off. Small dip, and then right back. Awesome. Now we're on the system pressure port. .242 at 1,000. See what it does at 1,800. Okay, so the good news is that we got the lube pressure issue fixed. We no longer drop lube pressure when we disengage the MFWD. But our system pressure is still a little low. You know, it's 20, 25 PSI low under spec, but is that really a problem? You know, these tractors are checked brand new from factory and these specs are written in a book. You know, what's the spec on a 3,000 hour 6125R? No one really knows. All right. So I'm going to take this thing out for a cruise once we get the drive shaft back in, but I got Ben underneath the tractor retapping the holes right now because the bolts kind of pulled the threads a little bit when we pulled the bolts out, and they're a fine thread. I had to get a special tap from my dad because it's a M12 by 125, which is not included in most tap and die sets. So shout out to my dad for getting me that tap. So we're trying to fix those holes so we can get the drive shaft back in. And then we're just going to take this thing out for a drive and get it hot and just see if the codes come back. If the codes don't come back and everything works fine, I'm going to send it. Because going in and replacing that transmission pump is a lot of work. You got to tilt the cab, which takes a lot of work just to even get the cab tilted. And then you go in, do all the work to replace the pump, and then you have to put it all back together before you can even test it. And if that didn't fix it, that'd be a pretty bad deal. So I think right now is a good time to retest and see if it actually fails or throws the code. So that's the plan. Well, we've been on the road for, I don't know, probably 20 minutes. And we've been driving the crap out of this thing and no problems. Thing just runs like a top. Riding in the buddy seat of a 6R down this road is kind of like Ace Ventura going through that jungle.
Spectacular! This land holds great beauty.
And a dude that's 6'4" sitting in the buddy seat of a 6R is not a whole lot of fun. My abs are sore.
Yeah, especially in this cab. It's not as spacious as the others.
All right, so the test drive was successful. Did not set one code the whole time we drove it. We drove it around the country, you know, wide open throttle as fast as it would go for about 45 minutes. Before, we couldn't make it 20 minutes before the codes would come on. So I'm going to say that the problem's fixed. Is the transmission system working as, you know, at spec? Not according to the book, but it's working perfectly fine. The transmission shifts like it's supposed to, moves like it's supposed to, doesn't set any codes. So I don't think it's worth the customer have to spend all that money to replace the transmission pump if it doesn't actually need it. You know, we're trying to save the guy a little money here. So I think we're going to let the customer use it and try it and just see what happens. If he has more problems later on down the road, then we'll address it then. But if I can't get it to fail after 45 minutes of driving it as hard as I can, I don't think it's probably going to. So I'm going to let the customer have it back. But right now we're actually tearing into the seat. There's a few issues with the seat. It's not staying aired up, and the swivel part of it is missing some hardware. So me and Ben are going to fix that real quick. But that's going to do it for this video. Thanks for sticking around for all the updates on this tractor. I know I wasn't able to do every step of the way in 1 or 2 videos, so I appreciate you guys sticking around for that. But stay tuned. Look what I have here. Yeah, look how big this X9 1100 is. And I have something that's a little top secret here, but I'm gonna give you guys a peek. See that? That is a Shop Dog Industries. It's a turning tool for combines. So you can actually hook this thing up to the chopper and turn over the entire combine with a wireless remote. So it's going to be really handy for doing inspections. I won't have to take any belts or chains off. I can just push a button and rotate the entire machine to be able to check all the belts and chains and everything without having to take anything off. It's going to be a game changer. So stay tuned. I'm going to be doing a video on the Shop Dog, and I think you guys are going to really dig it. So like the video, subscribe to the channel, and until next time, keep that green iron moving.